CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Brendan Purdy.
Sorry, we cannot connect to you. Sorry, we connect to you. So I have no idea what to do.
Tonight on CTV News, a bumpy takeoff. Some local passengers remain stranded despite the end of the Air Canada strike. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. The Alberta Nurses Union says the province will now cover the cost of the COVID vaccine for healthcare workers. It comes after backlash from public health experts and healthcare unions who said it wasn't fair that workers on the front lines would have to pay out of pocket for the vaccine this fall. United Nurses of Alberta says AHS informed them all UNA members employed by AHS and other healthcare pillar organizations will be provided the vaccine free of charge. The union says it's cautiously optimistic this will apply to all members employed by healthcare and long-term care employers as well, although this hasn't been confirmed. It says the decision to get vaccinated will remain voluntary.
They didn't just make this course correction out of the kindness of their heart. They did it because workers and unions pushed back and demanded better.
This now scopes to cover all healthcare workers. This is how we protect our patients, reduce hospitalizations. This is how we keep our healthcare system strong.
CTV News has reached out to the province for comment. After days of travel disruptions, the Air Canada flight attendant strike is over. A tentative agreement was reached after the union and airline met with a federal mediator overnight. Still, like many others, an Edmonton woman and her 2 kids remain stranded. Mere Abewe was supposed to fly back to Canada from Lyon, France tomorrow. She says she spent thousands of dollars to move her family's flights earlier to avoid disruption. She says that flight was canceled preemptively. Since, she says, she's been working to talk to someone at the airline with no luck.
We've been doing this overnight. My kids and I were taking turns to keep trying to get the number to go through, but it hasn't been going through, and it says the exact same thing. Sorry, we cannot connect to you. Sorry, we connect to you. So I have no idea what to do.
While Air Canada says it's gradually resuming operations, Abewe says she still hasn't received any information. This morning, Air Canada cautioned a return to full regular service would take 7 to 10 days. It says it's scaled up its customer support team to help the droves of people trying to get through to an agent. Well, people in Battle River Crowfoot have elected a new member of parliament. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre has won the federal by-election and will once again have a seat in Ottawa. However, one political analyst believes Poilievre getting back into parliament is just the first step. CTV's Evan Kenny has the details.
Thank you very much.
Pierre Poilievre is heading back to the House of Commons. The Conservative leader ran away with the federal by-election in Battle River Crowfoot, earning more than 80% of the vote.
No, I'm not surprised at all. He did the work. He was to every rural area in his riding.
I'm very disappointed and shocked at that.
I felt that he would probably win, but I didn't think he would have a commanding win.
That's who we wanted to begin with, right?
While he's the man more than 40,000 people in Alberta wanted as their MP, he'll have to show Conservatives across the country Canadians want him as the next Prime Minister.
The next step is going to be the campaigning he does between now and when Parliament resumes and how he conducts himself.
He received fewer votes than Damien Carrick, who won the riding in the spring election, then stepped down so Poilievre could run. The Conservative leader will face an automatic leadership review at the party's convention in January.
That's probably enough to at least avoid adding questions to his suitability for the leadership.
Cheers!
Independent candidate Bonnie Critchley is toasting to her efforts. She finished second, earning 10% of the vote.
My entire purpose, when I started to right now, has been to tell Mr. Poilievre that he is not allowed to just walk in and use us as a tool and then disappear back to Ottawa.
Critchley wants to see Poilievre back in Battle River Crowfoot when he's not campaigning and bringing the riding's concerns to Ottawa.
City Council has approved a program that aims to kickstart student housing developments downtown. The city says the downtown student housing incentive will encourage residential development over the next 2 to 5 years. The city will use money from the federal funding programs under the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation. It says proposals for new buildings, developments on infill-ready sites, and in the Warehouse Park area will be prioritized. Projects must provide a minimum of 10 student housing units.
Our job is really just to administer it and to ensure that the applications are well done, and there's going to be a lot of competition for it, which is fantastic. That's exactly what you want to see.
I think if we can build 500 additional student housing in the core of the downtown, that is good for our economy, that is good for affordability, is good for downtown vibrancy.
Submissions for the first round of proposals closes on September 30th. City Council has voted to unanimously replace its 20-year-old animal bylaw. The new bylaw comes after 2 years of public consultations. It includes new regulations on animal welfare, dog attacks, feral cats, license fees, and more. Today, an amendment was made for the city manager to impose conditions on a license to keep pigeons. It was moved by Councillor Erin Rutherford. She says she's heard numerous complaints from people in her ward about pigeon coops.
Lots of noise and cooing, right? That makes their backyards very unenjoyable to be using. Sometimes even I've heard about smell, right, from all of the feces from the birds.
The city will provide full details on the new bylaw tomorrow. 3 people have been charged, and the hunt is on for 3 more in connection with distraction-style thefts in our city. Police say the group is linked to dozens of thefts and is under investigation for similar crimes in other parts of the country. CTV's Amanda Anderson reports.
After loading her vehicle with groceries one day last year, Colleen threw her purse in the car and returned her cart to the corral she parked next to. That's when a man came up and asked where to find a doctor's office.
And I said, no, not here. You might have to go into another shopping area to find a doctor's office. And it pointed. He said, okay, and he walked away, and I went back to my car. My purse was still there on the front seat.
She says another man walked past as she left. About 10 minutes later, her credit card company called about suspicious purchases. That's when she realized she was the victim of a distraction theft.
20 seconds, like I swear. It's just that length of a conversation, very short. And he was able to reach in, pull my wallet out of my purse, and I was unaware because the purse was still on the seat.
Since May, police have gotten more than 60 reports of various distraction-style thefts.
They work as a group. They work coordinated approach on what they do with distraction thefts.
3 women have been charged so far, with police looking for 3 more people involved. Police believe it's the same group captured stealing more than $1,500 from a Safeway in Windermere.
We're also seeing a trend of distraction theft at a commercial store. This group is also involved in commercial thefts of perfumes.
Police say all 6 are under investigation for similar crimes in communities just outside of Edmonton, as well as the Toronto area and in Surrey, BC.
This particular group is transient in nature.
It's believed they're part of an organized crime group, and there are other suspects.
If that you have been a victim of these crimes by these individuals, maybe a distraction theft, maybe theft of property, or maybe fraudulently obtaining or purchasing of vehicle, please report it to us.
Be very aware of your surroundings, I guess. And it just is a shame that you can't just be kind to people and not be taken advantage of.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Some local students are getting a head start with school just weeks away. Edmonton Catholic Schools hosted First Riders in an attempt to get students feeling confident and ready to ride the bus. On top of a school bus ride, there were hands-on activities, including a safety station.
Starting school can be a bit overwhelming and a big step for students, so we want to ensure that everyone is safe and comfortable going on the bus, and because a confident rider is usually a safe rider.
Organizers say about 600 families attended the free event. There's a cricket clinic coming to Clark Stadium this weekend. The program, TD Young Wickets, introduces cricket as a fun and accessible sport for kids. Liam Plunkett, a former England World Cup champion, will be a mentor at the event.
We want kids to go away feeling like they got something from it and they enjoyed it. I don't want a kid coming and someone's bowling too fast for him and he's shying away. You want all the kids to come and enjoy it and learn cricket and go away and sort of want to learn again.
Throughout the day, kids will be split into groups and introduced to different parts of the game. It runs from 12:30 until 3:30 p.m. on Sunday. Edmonton is playing host to the Canadian Lawn Bowling Championships this week. It's happening at the Commonwealth Lawn Bowling Club in the Woodcroft neighborhood. Men and women from across 8 provinces will compete in singles, pairs, triples, and fours. Organizers hope the event attracts more bowlers of all ages.
We find events like this are really good for kind of introducing it to people who've never heard of it before.
My grandfather bowls, so I got in with him during into the youth program because he wanted people to bowl with him.
Playoff rounds begin Friday with medals being handed out Saturday ahead of the closing ceremonies. One playwright hopes to promote stem cell donation at the Fringe Festival.
And it says the same.
Liana Semenina wrote her play Hearts Left Open to encourage the audience to join the stem cell registry. Semenina partnered with Canadian Blood Services to tell a story about a young child who needs a stem cell transplant. The story is based on her brother's life-saving bone marrow transplant.
I have had people come up who have lost siblings and parents to cancer and have connected to the grief and the anger that is mentioned in my play. It's been really rewarding, actually, and incredibly humbling at the same time to know that something that I created is touching people in the way that it is.
We are in it every single day. We do hear about these stories, but you just see how families are impacted, so you see it from a different side. I see it from the medical side and the other side of it, but you get to see it from how the families are impacted.
Hearts Left Open is at the Fringe Festival until Sunday. Just ahead, checks and balances. Alberta cabinet ministers push to reverse a new expense policy. Plus, credit crash. A recent Equifax report shows many Albertans are struggling to keep up with credit payments.
So debt can create a lot of anxiety and stress for us.
Good evening, folks. Low to mid-20s across northern Alberta today. We got to 27 degrees for the second straight day here in Edmonton, but a cool down is on the way for tomorrow and Thursday. Some more showers and thunderstorms on tap for tomorrow as well. We'll get into all those details in just a few minutes.
Welcome back. Alberta cabinet ministers are asking the province's finance minister to request that the Treasury Board immediately reverse a controversial new expense policy for senior government officials. The directive, which took effect August 1st, removed receipt requirements for government expenses over $100 from public view. CTV's Mark Villani has the latest.
Whether it's a more expensive hotel or something a bit more modest, Alberta politicians weren't keen on the public knowing where they were staying.
They just wanted the name of the hotel redacted, just in case people were tracking them down and following. That was what the policy was supposed to be.
It's why the province eliminated a long-standing requirement for ministers, staff, and senior bureaucrats to post receipts for expenses over $100, all while removing 8 years of public expenses from the Alberta government website.
So if you're a taxpayer, you'll want to know if your tax dollars are paying to rent a Corolla or a Corvette.
The Office of Alberta's Privacy Commissioner says these changes diminish transparency and our office has no knowledge of the rationale for them. But now the province is backpedaling, directing the Minister of Finance to request the Treasury Board immediately reverse the policy. It comes after the government had originally defended the change to remove more than 500,000 expense claims from the internet, saying the volume of data hosted on its site exceeded server capacity.
We hereby permit the government to go spend some money on external hard drives.
Premier Smith says change was in order, but she was confused by the policy.
It turned out to be something quite different.
But some political watchers don't buy the Premier's story.
So I suspect what was happening here was not a surprise at what the policy looked like, but what the reaction to the policy was.
Alberta NDP leader Naheed Nenshi is also skeptical.
The Premier claims she knew nothing about it. So she knows nothing about what's going on in her government. We deserve a Premier who knows what's going on. In reality, of course she knew what was going on.
In a statement, former ousted UCP cabinet minister Peter Guthrie says such changes don't happen without the Premier being involved. Let's be clear, transparency should be priority, but under Smith's leadership, it's become an afterthought. Albertans deserve a government that leads with integrity, not one that hides expenses, blames others, and dodges accountability.
This is why detailed receipts matter.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
A recent Equifax report shows more than 1 million Canadians are having a hard time keeping up with credit payments, and young people are especially at risk. Alberta stands out in the report as one of the provinces where people have the most debt. CTV's Jacqueline Wilson reports.
The average Albertan has over $24,000 in debt, not including their mortgage. That's the second highest in Canada and more than the national average at just over $22,000, according to a new Equifax report.
When we look at the age ranges in Alberta, you tend to have more individuals kind of in what we call the peak credit usage age range, so kind of 36 to 55-year-olds. They tend to be using the credit the most because you kind of establish things like your own home, maybe you've got lines of credit, maybe an auto loan. And because there is just a higher percentage of consumers in Alberta that fall into that age range, that's one of the reasons why we see that average amount a little bit higher.
More Albertans are also missing credit payments, and they're not alone. 1.4 million Canadians missed a payment in the second quarter. While that's up by 118,000 people compared with the same time last year, it is a slight drop from the first quarter.
Money's not just about dollars and cents. It's about your feelings towards it, right? And so debt can create a lot of anxiety and stress for us. If you don't have a plan, then it's time to form one. And you really can do it two ways, right? You can do it yourself, or you can come chat with us, nonprofit credit counselors who are available to help, create a budget that is manageable and sustainable.
The report also finds that non-mortgage holders and those under the age of 36 have greater financial stress.
Well, I feel like right now it's kind of harder to get a job. You definitely need those connections in this world. And I feel like even going out with friends, you don't get to go as much because everything's more expensive. So it's definitely harder to save.
I feel like maybe older people are good at managing their money and being good, but young people like me, I think we're not getting ahead.
A slow job market and the rising costs for groceries, cars, and housing are all reasons it can be tough to get ahead. Jacqueline Wilson, CTV News, Calgary.
After the break, chasing the checkered flag, we introduce you to a racing team that's breaking financial barriers for their young drivers.
Like everything has a cost to it these days. There are economical ways to go racing.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. It was a cool start to the day at 9 degrees this morning, but warmed up pretty quickly. 27, 5 degrees warmer than average today. Will be a couple of degrees cooler than average tomorrow, closer to 20 for a daytime high. You get a chance of some scattered showers early tomorrow morning. Better bet here off to the east and northeast through the morning hours tomorrow. And then watch for some areas of thunderstorms, potentially severe thunderstorms to pop up through the afternoon hours tomorrow. You've got one zone here from Red Deer south towards Calgary. That'll move towards the Coronation Wainwright regions. And this is the area we'll be keeping an eye on here in the Edmonton area. By mid-afternoon, still to the west of the city, but these will move west to east along Highway 16 as the afternoon and evening wears on. And so around supper time tomorrow, pretty good chance that we'll have some thunderstorms in the area. By 8 or 9, they should all be off into east central Alberta. And after that, And there's a slight risk as this starts to drop in from the north. Slight risk Thursday evening, you might see a spotty shower, but I kind of think all of this is going to fall apart or move east of the city through Thursday night. It will be cooler, though, for tomorrow and Thursday. Highs near 20. Things start to warm up, and we get some sunshine for Friday and the weekend. 13s from Edmonton off to the northeast through Cold Lake, Fort McMurray, about 14 or 15 tomorrow morning in Lloydminster. You'll be in the 8 or 9 degree range in western and northwestern Alberta. Back close to 20 for Peace River, Grand Prairie tomorrow. Fort McMurray as well at about 20 degrees. Cooler, though, Edson, Whitecourt, Jasper, mid to high teens. You'll be close to 20 in Red Deer and low to mid 20s for Lloydminster, Coronation regions. Another day near 30 across the south. We have temperatures near 30 next week. But for tomorrow and Thursday, just slightly below average. Cloudy with a few sunny breaks tomorrow. Slight chance of a scattered shower in the morning. Better chance around supper time tomorrow to see some storms. Partly cloudy, 20 on Thursday, 23 in sunshine for Friday. And then as a nice big upper ridge settles in, mid to upper 20s and sunny for the weekend. And highs near 30 for the first half of next week. That is your forecast.
The popularity of motorsports has skyrocketed with documentaries like Netflix's Drive to Survive and the recent blockbuster F1 the movie. Enthralled with the sport, some young racers are testing their skills on a twisting track at Strathmore Motorsports Park. CTV's Kevin Fleming has more on a team helping drivers and their families financially so they can make their racing dreams come true.
He's relatively new to the sport. Lucas Hand is 17 and started driving when he was 12. But in the last 5 years, he's focused all his efforts to get better behind the wheel.
I want to go to the very top. I want to be in some, like endurance racing, maybe not Formula One because, I think there's a kid that's 1 year older than me that's in that, right? So I think that's a bit off the table now, but definitely somewhere where I can just have a life in motorsport, where I can make a living off that.
His dad, Mike, works on the kart. He's had to learn alongside his son, but says it's quality time spent together.
I get a lot of time with him. That's a huge bonus for me. We get to learn some of the life lessons of trying hard and still losing, or something bad happens and you can't plan for it, or and you just learn that together.
Lucas is a driver with Alloy Racing. Its goal is to develop young drivers by providing funding but also coaching.
There are cost barriers to getting into motorsport, but when you compare this to hockey or any other sport, like everything has a cost to it these days. There are economical ways to go racing.
But when you come together as a team and you collectively have access to tools and knowledge and data and people that are great at coaching and people that are great at driving and people that understand lap analysis and data and whatever.
Everyone enjoys working on the karts and discussing strategy. Adrian Carruthers got his start in a kart at 8 years old and says it's track time that really gets the heart pumping.
Oh, it's an experience, unlike no other. From the adrenaline standpoint, from the fun standpoint, you're out there wheel-to-wheel racing, inches between the next guy at 100K plus. It's a real rush for sure.
The drivers don't know what's in store for them, but want to take their driving to the highest level possible. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Strathmore.
A young Edmonton oboist has been accepted to a prestigious music school. Now, he's seeking an instrument upgrade. Eric Davidson begins his time at the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia in September. The 17-year-old has dreamed of attending the school since he first picked up an oboe 6 years ago. There's one issue, however. The oboe he currently has is past its prime and needs to be replaced.
His is older and the wood has not stopped vibrating. It's not vibrating like it used to. And so he does need a new instrument to really excel.
Curtis has always been the top of the line and the dream that I always wanted to accomplish. So it's really something that I'm very excited and looking forward to.
The oboe that Davidson hopes to buy costs $15,000. His family is collecting donations through a GoFundMe page, but he's still $10,000 short of his fundraising goal.
The number of people who have stepped up to support him has just been overwhelming and really, really encouraging. And we're just so grateful to the amazing musical educators out there that have really helped him to achieve his goal and to get to where he is today.
He's still $10,000 short of his fundraising goal. Alrighty, folks, well, that's all from us tonight here at CTV Edmonton. We appreciate you stopping by. Please make sure to tune in again tomorrow night. We'll be with you at 11:30. Alrighty, take care and goodbye for now.